Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the NewOaks AI Podcast. I'm your host, Leland Best of Best Studios LLC, along with my good friend Ray Luan, CEO of NewOaks AI. I want to welcome Kevin to the feed today. He's actually here watching us tonight, Ray. Can you believe it?
Okay. Yeah.
say,
Wow.
say hi to
Welcome,
Kevin
Kevin.
Williams. Nice to have you here. Normally, this time of night, we don't
Welcome, Kevin.
have a lot of viewers,
Yep.
so it's good to see you here.
Yep.
So, what's going on, Ray? How's things going? I know we were an hour late today because we had daylight savings revert back. So I
Right.
totally forgot to mention that last week, and Ray wasn't aware. So
Yep.
we
Yep.
apologize for
That's
the
okay.
delay. Hopefully,
That's
so the show
okay.
will be at 9 p.m. from now on, from this
Right.
season. At least that's what we're looking at. Because Ray doesn't want to be up too early and on the podcast because we're about 12 hours, 11 hours apart now, right? What is it there, Ray? It's 9 p.m.
12
here.
of
So it is
it's
12
9
there?
a.m. here.
12
12
hours? Okay.
no, it's 12 hours. Yeah. So 9 a.m. here.
Okay, so it is 12 now, so that's good. Now we'll be
Yep.
able to stick with the schedule. All right,
Yep.
Kevin is in the house and watching. I wanted to make sure he was there. So let's get going,
Yep.
Ray. We've got a short show today, not a lot to talk about, but again, these are just
Yep.
updates and these could be short moving forward as we continue to kind of ease into where
Yep.
Ray's going with New Oaks. So
Yep.
Manus, and believe it or not,
Yep.
I don't know if you saw this, Ray. Okay, if you guys, I'm going to
Uh-huh.
kind of show people, I think I got a screen
Yep.
here for Manus, but there was a laugh that came across yesterday, and I got to tell you what it
Yeah.
was. Well, what
It's
cracked me up, everybody knows about it, I think. This is Manus. Leave it to Manus, or introducing Manus. It's a gentleman, correct? His name is Manus.
yeah.
Isn't that where that comes from? But I saw there's another
Uh,
model of this somewhere, and they
yep.
dropped the M. They left the M off
Uh-huh.
it, and they called it Anus, or in terms here in the United States anyway,
Oh,
we
really?
say anus. So when we saw the name come
So-
across, it was like,
oh,
oh my
wow.
gosh, I was not expecting that from an
Yeah.
LLM. But tell us about
Yeah.
Manus. What's going on there, Ray?
Yeah, so Manus is a recent, very popular AI agent builder. This a brand new product and is getting more and more popular. The buzzword in Twitter, both in
Hmm.
China and in the US.
Hmm.
And a lot of like influencers trying to get their invite code just to test their app. So I personally have tested their app. It's literally a combination of AI agent plus computer use plus memory per
Oh,
se. Uh, Literally, what it can do is that it can control your browser. Use AI
okay.
to control your browser, do everything that your mouse is allowed to do, and also it can also run Python code to help you to do any third-party coding or access third-party tools. It's very powerful.
Hmm.
So there are a couple of templates on Manus. I use the build a Tesla stock analysis. So it will search all the different sources, Tesla's financial report, annual report, and also different ratings from different financial institutions and run a complete uh, ready to use financial report.
Oh, wow.
That's one of the use case. So you can build actually a lot of use cases, even build an app for yourself. So one of my friend built
Oh,
an app from scratch. Uh, yeah, he's an influencer too.
right on the
So
platform. You can build apps right on the platform, you're saying. So kind of like
yep,
going
that
to a Bolt or a couple of those other new platforms that are out there for just writing
yep,
code. It's able to do it within
yep,
any LLM there, right? That's cool.
yep.
I like it. Well, that's interesting. So have
So
you used it much? Is it something you guys are using in-house at all for anything, or is it just kind of
not much.
on the
We
radar?
actually right. We just it's a pretty cool product. I think it's the early stage of the real AI employee. I think literally
Oh,
it
nice.
can do, yeah, you can call. I mean, you can prompt AI to do anything. So
Hmm.
similarly, that we actually not using it, but we build a similar tool, which is EasySite.ai, which is literally AI agent site builder. You can use AI to build all kinds of websites, landing pages, tools, even games. I built a video game, Blackjack, which is cool. I never done.
That's nice. I'd like to
Yeah, I
try
never
that.
created a video game. So it's similar to Manus, but we focus on AI building website
Oh, okay.
within one click. Yep.
I gotta
So
try
that's
that.
that's what we do. Yep.
I've done a couple AI websites, but that's kind of here or there. I went to one, I forget the name of it, and it actually created weird AI graphics as
Yep.
placeholders instead, but they
Yep.
weren't very, they were really weird looking graphics. It was kind of strange. So it all
Right.
depends on who's making the builder. Some are good, some aren't
Yep.
that good, some are decent. I saw the one you used though and what the results were, and I thought they were really good. So not something I've come
Yep.
across yet. So obviously Elon's still in the news. He always will be, I think, for the next 4 years. So we're just going to have to deal
Yep.
with that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something about what's going on in Tesla stock because with a
Mhm.
stock analysis in an hour versus 2 weeks of manual work, this kind of real world application. I mean, is that what's going on here with this whole Manus thing? Is it something we can compare to? Like you mentioned that he could do the entire stock analysis in an hour versus 2 weeks of manual work. So how is that any
Yep.
different than any of the other LLMs? Is that just because of its analysis capabilities, its deep research capability? It's not the same thing, right? We're looking at two different types of refined models here that we're dealing with. It's not like a
Right.
standard chatbot.
So Manus is not, I would say it's not a large language model. It's application.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I
more,
figured.
yeah, you're right. It's more like OpenAI's deep research,
Okay.
which means that you can give Manus any website or any resources with login probably with login account, right, or credentials, so it can log in and search the data. What it does is that after you give Manus a prompt, it's going to deassemble the task into different, subtasks, and then
Oh, I got you.
execute one
Okay.
by one. It can also log in any third-party account or resources and then execute it. And in the end, it can give you a summary. So literally, it can do a lot of analysis type of work and I think, replace human agent at some point. I think it's the early stage, very early stage of the AI employee.
Yeah.
So a lot of yeah, a lot of jobs will be replaced, I believe.
I guess I'm just looking at it from the perspective that I see a lot of these rappers lately. Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize this, that most of what we see as software interfaces that people are using to get to LLMs aren't actually the real LLM per se. It's a
Yep.
wrapper on top of someone's LLM. But some of these
Right.
guys are making, their valuations are coming in at 50 million ARR, and that's crazy as a wrapper system over someone else's
Yep.
software. So people need to think
Right.
about that. We could be doing the same thing. If we want to
Yep.
add the LLM to the back end and it's open source, we just add a wrapper around it, create our own interface, and now we have something that we can sell to people and make our own 50 million ARR for it.
Yep.
But it's a lot of work,
Exactly.
right? We know that it's a
Exactly.
lot.
So I think the app is the one that creates the real value. LLM is just infrastructure, right?
Yeah, totally agree. I hear you, gentlemen are working hard back there. So if they're working that hard, Ray, we just got to know what's going on because what does this mean really with, business automation and AI driven software going on? If these types of models are coming into play now, how does that change the game? Is it going to make things different for people like you developing on these LLMs, looking for other ways to do it now, or are these really just squirrels, side shots, side use cases where they're more defined and more reliant on particulars than just general conversation? I mean, maybe I'm going a
Um,
little too deep there, and I know you got distracted because you got people over there.
yep.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out how this is going to play out when we start seeing these kind. You say this could be the next, and rendition of an AI employee, let's say. So how is this making it any different? How do we have to look at this staging now that they're doing with LLM with this kind of wrapper versus how we've been doing it all along? Is it going to change our workflows? Is it going to make any difference to
Yeah,
us at all?
I think it's going to change our workflows because before when we build our workflow, we have to do it. We have to do the workflow from every steps, right? We need to think about how the workflow looks like, and then we define every sub modules within those workflows, and then we build every single workflow. I mean, single module with
Mhm.
AI, and then connect them manually together. And then for the output, we still need to build reporting tool for the output, right? Whatever we are building the workflow and expect the output result is. So, but with the AI agent like Manus, we can just give the very detailed prompt, tell the Manus, say, AI agent, say, hey, I want to build a Tesla stock analysis report. And then the Manus and the AI is going to disassemble um, the objective into
Yeah,
different tasks and then execute one by one in sequence. So
I
it has a
get it.
planning capability. I
Okay,
think
that
what's
makes sense.
what differentiate regular AI agent and AI employees that AI employees supposed to have planning capability to
Mhm.
give you the roadmap of all the different tasks and then execute the task one by one and give
Gotcha.
you the expected result. And if there is any, so there's one thing is planning, right? Then another thing is that if there is any expected, if there's any error or bug during the execution, it's going to revisit the bug and try to fix it just like human does. And but it has to be, you have to give the AI employee enough time to think or to the
Got it.
train of thought process.
Gotcha.
So I think the one thing, one the key difference is the planning capability, and second is the capability to correct the errors or the bugs during the whole
Mhm.
process.
I'm looking forward to that because I was debugging. I just came up with a tool yesterday, Ray, and I'm going to be announcing
Yeah,
it tomorrow on my podcast. I'm sure
yeah.
you've heard the term inbox zero, right? I achieved it.
Not really.
I
Okay.
achieved inbox zero permanently and with the Gmail account. And what that means
Oh,
is no emails are present in my inbox at all. They're all
oh,
filtered
wow,
and foldered and
wow.
labeled and tagged on the way in. But I had
Okay,
to go through
okay.
and
Yeah,
actually assemble over 2,000 emails to start before I
yeah.
got to inbox zero. But I'll tell you what,
Okay.
this is kind of that concept where I wish I had this
Mm-hmm.
there to find the error. And I know there's some of the software systems out there that build automations are looking at
Yeah.
AI to go in and evaluate the JSON structure of the workflow, find where the
Okay.
error faults take place, and then compare to the
Yep.
ones that work and find those errors, fix them, and then rewrite the JSON so that it works properly. And those are some
Right.
really cool things that we're looking forward to. I just found the area in the video, Ray. I just want to show this real quick. This is where you
Yep.
mentioned the stock analysis. So we do have
Yep.
the software doing the stock analysis that he was talking about just a moment ago. So they're going to
Yep.
go in and do NVIDIA, Marvel, and TSM. And it's
Yep.
just told them to give a stock analysis of three different stocks. And now it's just going
Yep.
through every API and even the browser if it
Yeah.
has to go ahead, access different
Yep.
softwares, do the
Yep.
routines, figure out the report, and then actually develop the report automatically and autonomously. See, it's gathered all its information, it's got its
Yep.
images and its charts and everything
Wow.
that it needs to put
Yep.
together for the analysis, comes up with a
Yeah.
conclusion, and then it reports on everything it gathered. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. That's a little deeper than what
Yes.
we've been doing with some of the things that
Right.
we do.
Yeah. It's more
Oh, here's the
yes,
report.
it's more
Here's the final report right here. So
right.
it actually came
Exactly.
in as a very
Yep.
nice, detailed, chart written graphical report with everything you would need for analysis.
All the different chart and graphs, right? Is pretty amazing. So the only drawback is that for the different tasks, right, there's still a chance that the large language model will hallucinate. So
Hmm.
when you add up all the hallucination probability for all the different modules or subtasks, so there's still a chance that the workflow will not be executed as smoothly as it can. So last, as we talk about, the capability of correct debugs or errors is critical. with that capability, it's almost like human,
I would
right?
think so.
So as
Yeah, it starts
human,
to
we do,
become errorful.
yeah,
Hey, stop making so many mistakes. You're acting like us now. Yeah, we
right,
don't want it. We don't
right,
want it to be that much human. Let's just put it that way. I use the term
yep,
humanize a lot when I create prompts for writing emails or materials that I need
okay,
it to sound human. But to
yep,
use that term to generate actual, report written content, I think is going to take it too far. All right, Ray, let's
that's right.
talk about New Oaks. We've got a lot of things
Yep,
going on over there. Still some new stuff, upcoming integrations and enhancements. Looking at the
yep.
list, I see four particulars. One is the AI Actions add-on we talked about last week. So why don't you fill us in on how the custom CTAs and automation and the chat voice integrations are going to work?
So yeah, so there's a lot of customers. They well, we released the AI action feature. Previously, it's called Flow Builder.
Okay.
Literally does that. It will allow the AI to make function call to third party API. But a lot of our customers still not do not know how to use it. So we come up with a add-on to help our customers to build it, so that they don't need to worry about that. So we empower the AI agent to be able to execute any jobs during the conversation, either chat or the voice, to call any third party tools or execute any custom code. So that's
And
the
where do we
nature
find
of
that
AI.
in the setup, Ray?
Um,
Oh,
well, you
there it is. I
can,
found it. It's the
yep,
AI action button underneath the settings
yep,
for the
that's
chatbot.
right.
So we have a little
Yep,
A here. Let's get rid of the widget here. So we just add an HTTP request. Ray's got a guide connected right here. So if you need any information as
yep,
to how this actually works, simply follow the guide.
yep,
We'll step you through it. So we're really just verifying any type of external API to a tool that we want to use and have the chatbot associate with, in a
yep,
sense, and get a response
yep.
from that it can deliver to the person in the chat window. Or through the call
And
too? Does that work through calls and everything else?
yep, yeah, you can do it during the voice call too. And the beauty is that you do not need to tell the AI, which API to call. It will automatically figure it out once you mention that in the prompt. So that's the difference,
Oh,
compared with traditional API call.
I like it.
Um, yep, and you can do a lot of AI action calls during the conversation
Okay.
to make a workflow. It's
Well, we're
similar to Manus, but the only thing missing is that we currently we cannot control the browser, so that's the
yeah.
missing piece. Yeah.
That's
For
kind of
example,
cool.
if you say during a conversation you say, "Hey, Sarah agent, uh, order some food for me on Uber Eats," right? The
Oh, I get
only,
it.
yeah, you can do that, but the only missing piece is that it cannot actually log in the browser,
Can't authorize. Yeah.
use mouse. So that's the only thing that it cannot do. Other than that, it's almost as powerful as Manus or other AI agents.
Okay. I gotta try that because we've been working on we're kind of putting together. We use AI table a lot.
Yeah,
And AI table is made over in China. It's actually a spin-off of Vika.cn and Bika.ai,
yeah,
which are two different models of
okay,
the same framework. I was going to
yeah,
self-host it, but we built
mm-hmm,
kind of a CRM inside of that with a Kanban and an ability to track like transcriptions from meetings and then move
yeah.
those transcriptions into summaries with questions from the person. And then we go through, it's basically an AI driven CRM. Okay. And
Right. So
we're probably going to take what you have here as New
yeah,
Oaks speaking, especially the voice chat, add
yeah,
that to the front end of our speaking component, and your
yeah.
system will be able to call all the tools we need to move stuff around inside our CRM. And that's really what we're trying to
Yeah,
put together. So that, along with
that,
any other workflows we could throw at it, sounds pretty cool.
that's right. That's
So
right.
wait,
What? So please help me understand. The AI table is
yeah,
literally like a
yeah, I'll show you.
database,
I'll show you. It's
but you
actually
save
pretty
all
cool.
the script
It's
within the database, right?
It's a lot like Airtable in a sense, but let me show you what
Okay.
we've done with what
Yep.
we're doing.
Okay.
So the AIO CRM in a sense is what I'm building here inside the dashboard. You can
Hmm.
see it just has a tree structure down the side, and it's really just a bunch of grid databases. Okay, this
Yep.
dashboard just happens to represent what's in the grid database. So What we have is a data entry form which covers all kinds of different aspects to the leads. We know what knowledge base is being stored about the leads, and then we have a pipeline status and a lead status. So we're able to show whether people are in triage or active or no shows and things like that. Well, the main system runs on a database of leads, and then we can see in this filtered section the same placement I showed you a minute ago as to what effect they're in, whether they're an active lead or a no-show lead or an active deal. And as we move these into each of these, they get tagged. And then if we move them somewhere in particular, it'll get tagged again and maybe fire off an automation, like send a follow-up email, just because we moved it into the follow-up category. So it'll send that email automatically. Then we have our knowledge base, which stores all the data about the business. So sales
Okay.
calls, training videos, SOPs, things
Yeah.
like that all get stored
Yeah.
here so that it can make reference and then make reply emails during automations so that if emails come in, it can actually use the database of the business and send reply emails out to the people automatically. And then we
Okay.
use an internal system to bring in even more demographic data of each of the leads that we have. So we have almost 150 meta points that we add to the leads. And then this runs through a dashboard, like we mentioned, and this actually goes through an 8N on a back end, and then the back end is what's running most of the automation for us. And as we build this out continuously, what we're going to end up having, I can just kind of give you a simple idea of where we're at here. Let's just go with, I think I have one right here. Just got to go to another page. I'm in one of these. I think I'm on the other. There it is. So this is just an example of how much of the flow work that's going on behind it is. So this is, an email processor, a
Mhm.
transcript processor. We actually have two different ones. We have our backend database for the products and services that the businesses maintains, and we just
Mhm.
continuously update. And then we have response agents that are checking emails, tagging emails, and sending out responses to emails. So we're trying to
Okay.
make a fully autonomous, automated talk to the voice on the front, and it does
Yep.
everything for you on the back. But if you do need to access the back end, you can. So it's kind of cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, fun
Yep.
stuff.
It's
So let's just move on, Ray. I want to get, unless there was something you
Yep.
wanted to ask about that. I know we've got three things here I want to cover for you. So a new
Yep.
three-tier support system. You you
Yep.
must got some new hires. What's going on? I love it. Talk to us about what's going on,
Right.
Ray.
Right. So as our customer base keep growing, there's a lot of support requests. So generally we will put the support request into a backlog, and then we evaluate the priorities and do it one by one. But in some case, there's some customers like agency customer, they have their own customers request, which
Mhm.
is very urgent. Then we will, so we can provide a urgent support and make it an add-on so that the real important and urgent requests can be processed early. So we have make it a 3-tier to be able to accommodate the business requests of our agency customers. So that's how it is about.
There's
Similar
always
to AI
triage.
action. Yep.
Yeah, there's always triage to take care of. And then it
Yeah.
looks like, so did that require a lot of team members to be added, Ray? I know that doesn't necessarily constitute new hires, but how is
Yep.
AI playing? And I just have to ask, how well is AI working for you as a customer support agent? Is it doing its
Good
job
question.
proper? Is it helping you a
Yeah.
lot?
Yeah. It's right now it's we're trying to make our support work more automatic than it is right now. So what AI currently what it is doing is that whenever there's support coming to the email, AI is going to routing the different support ticket to different teams, and then that's the first step. Moving forward, we want to automate everything with AI, use AI to solve most of the support ticket, and then leave the tickets that AI cannot solve to our human agents, like myself and my team members. So
Yeah,
that's the whole idea. It's still not a lot of AI automation in place for supporting job yet, because we have made 80% of our development work automated already.
nice.
So the next step is to make our support function automated, and then by the end, we are going to make AI employees. So we need to build AI support employees. I think that's the objective.
I just saw the Anthropic CPO said the other day.
Yeah.
His engineers looking at reviewing the AI code. He says in
Yep.
3 years they will not need software engineers where they're at. They'll only be there to check the code that the AI
Yeah.
produces, and that's it.
I believe that. I think
Yeah, makes sense.
AI coding, yeah, it's just replacing the junior level or mid level software engineers, but not a
Exactly.
senior or architect. Yeah.
And I know one that's really good, and I swear, when that guy goes into his cave, you don't see him for like a week, but when he comes out,
Yeah.
he's got all this really cool stuff built, and you're like, how did you do that? He's just like,
Yeah.
it's just what I do. But I haven't found yet an AI because he takes his code and dumps it into, he was trying Claude out, but it couldn't
Mm-hmm.
take the amount of code he was throwing at it without costing him thousands of
Yeah.
dollars to use it. So he's now using the O3 Mini, I believe, or one of the larger O3 models. It seems to be working really well for him. So just to throw that out there,
Okay.
it does work really well as a coding
Cool.
unit. Or the O1, whichever
Cool.
one it is that's meant for coding. I don't
Yeah.
use that one.
O1 is the largest one, I
The
think.
O1, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just kind of cool to see. GDPR. I wasn't expecting this so quick, but you're looking at compliance now through the EU server migration. So can you tell us how that's going to roll out? It's going to take a little while, I'm sure.
Yeah, so previously we have two servers, one global and the other is EU, and we found the maintenance cost is very high. So to be better comply with GDPR, we come up with DPA documents, data privacy agreements, and we're building the more compliance documents with GDPRs so that we can only need to maintain one server instead of two. So we're going to email to our EU server customers and do the migration from EU server to global server.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that shouldn't
Yeah,
be too bad then. Oh, that's awesome. Because it was good you had those separated from the beginning, because if that would have had
yeah.
to go through the other way, it would have been more of a headache even. And the last on the list, Ray, is what you talked about a little bit earlier, and that was how does that pronounce? Easy Site
Easy
AI?
side,
I like
easy
it. It's
side.
a good
Yeah.
name. And here it is.
So
Your
that's
website built by AI.
right. That's the that's our AI website builder. We use Cloud 3.5 and 3.7,
Mhm.
and the idea is to for the non-professional coders or non-coders just to build an app, AI app, turn your ideas into an app within one click. So make it easy, right? You can sign up and then you build a SaaS. There's a couple of templates you can use. For example, you can build a SaaS startup website with a template, and also you can build a portfolio like designers portfolio website with a template. You can even build a game, right? Very simple game with the template.
Mhm. I want to see what it
Yeah,
does. Just type in a single sentence. I'm gonna. Oh, I exceeded the message limit.
yeah,
I guess I don't get to.
yeah.
It's because I didn't pay
Okay.
for it yet. I'll get back to it
Mm-hmm.
later, Ray. That's okay. I just had to see what it would do. So I'm
Yeah,
excited about that because this is going to
yeah,
allow people that have New Oaks, if they sign up for this, they'll be able to go in and create instant landing pages for not only their business cards but for their widgets to go on. And that's like
exactly.
that's awesome. I love it. So not only do you now have a digital business card, you'll have a digital landing page, an actual place on the web where people can come find your widget. So I love it. All right, Ray, I don't
Cool.
see a whole lot else going on. We're down to our half hour mode here. So just give us the rundown
Mhm.
of what's coming up for the end of Q1. We're in March now and only a couple more weeks to go, 3 more weeks to go before the first quarter's over. How have things been going over at New Oaks, and what do you see and being prepared for in Q2?
Sure. So for Q2, I think we just make Nukes the UI interface more easy to use, more intuitive, and also we will add a lot more add-ons to make the whole product more mature and complete, so that the user does not need to go anywhere else to finish the customer service work or even building a website. So the idea is to add more and more features, just make the NewOaks as our foundation product and flagship product, and make it more useful to our business owners or agency owners, customers. And then the next step, we're going to roll out more apps like Easy Site, just to build stuff with AI to automate it, but around the foundation of NewOaks. So make everything can be connected to NewOaks. So that's the plan. And by the end of the year, probably we can build a complete AI employee, so that use AI can use AI to execute any automation tasks for business owners.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the time we can just talk to the bot, or even just use voice, a prompt where we actually voice prompt it to get it to
Yep.
do things for us on the fly, where it's literally, hey,
Yep.
check my mail, send an email, do this, do that, do these, do those, go open this browser for me. That's going to be fun, I think, when we get to that point where we feel we can trust it and we can get the results we want, which Ray's doing a great job of providing. I'm just going to ask Kevin if you have any questions before we let Ray go this evening. Feel free to ask him real quick. Otherwise, we're going to let him go back to building the things that he builds. Ray, I appreciate it as always, you coming out here and just sharing your time with us for a half hour every week to let us know what's happening out at the pod or out on the podcast. So be sure to head out to YouTube, look for NewOaks AI. You're going to be able to sign up for the podcast on the website. So, well, actually, that's something we need, right? We need to put together
Yep.
something so we can
Yep.
notify people a little more randomly. I think what we'll try to
Yep.
do is have people sign up somewhere on the website. Maybe if you could maybe put a
Yep.
form on NewOaks for the podcast, we'll put a little, notification loop in there or something so people can know
Yeah.
when it's
Let's
going to
do
go.
that.
Sound
Let's
good?
do that.
All right.
Yep.
So come
Okay.
by
Cool.
next Tuesday. It's going to be an hour later than normal, so we're looking at 9 p.m. so that Ray and I
Yes.
can kind of stay on the same wavelength and not make him get
Yep.
up too early and me stay up too late. So look for us next week. I'll
Okay.
change the banner 9 p.m. Eastern
9
next
p.m.
Tuesday. Take care, Ray. You have a good afternoon. We'll see you
Okay.
next time.
Have a
Thanks again.
nice evening. Okay. Take care.
We
Bye
will.
bye.
Bye-bye.